Is that what this is about? Closure?
Isn't that what it's all about? Why we dig up the past? To understand it?
I am an engineer, Lara. I build for the future. I don't dwell in the past.
You will someday. Eventually, everyone does.
You ready now?
I'm good.
Okay, so just to explain to my audience that probably don't know who you are, Lance was in a video that some of you guys would have recognized. I think it was Von's video, right?
It was actually, Chris had a video of it, Nair had a video of it.
Yeah, they all had different angles. I remember now, something like that, right? Yeah, so they had different angles of pulling him over and him pulling out a gun on them, which was obviously old stage. So you probably would recognize Lance from those videos. Before we get into it, let's talk about how you met Chris and Von and all them.
I met Chris back February of 2017. I used to go to the gym every day and work out. I played professional basketball back then, and those were my, last couple of stints. I went into a Lifetime Fitness in Houston, and it was me and one of my teammates, and I ran into Chris. I didn't know who he was. We ended up playing ball together, or against each other. We played about 8 or 9 games that day. He ended up fouling. It was already words exchanged because the games had got heated, but he ended up fouling me. I thought he did it on purpose. So when I got up, I tried to fight him. He had another guy with him, braids, darker than him, about the same height, and he kept saying that it was his brother. My teammate was trying to fight his brother. When I looked around the gym, I noticed in the gym, people get into it, but I've never seen everyone pull their phones out and start recording, and I was wondering why they were doing that. It never went past that point. It was just words exchanged, and then we ended up leaving. But when I got home, my leg was messed up. I ended up going to the hospital. Found out that I had a sprained ACL. I couldn't play ball for a while.
Wow.
That was in February 2017. Fast forward to October, after the hurricane hit in Houston, there were a bunch of gyms that were free just to go in for everybody, play ball. And I ended up going in. I had just got cleared to play again, and I went to a 24-hour fitness on Westheimer. When I walked in, it was just super packed. There was people everywhere. I usually know everybody in there. I'm stretching, just shooting, warming up. Someone jumps on my back. When I turn around, it was Chris. Last time I seen him, it's when me and him got into it. Now I know who he is. When I first met him, I didn't.
Can you just clarify for my audience, when you say jump on your back, what do you mean?
Like just playing around. I guess he recognized me first.
Okay.
Yeah, to get my attention. But after that happened, he apologized for the stuff that happened when we first met each other. And I was still mad about it because that's how I make my money, is playing basketball.
Yeah.
We ended up shaking hands about it, just talked it over, and we ended up playing basketball for the rest of the night. But at the end of the night, he was with Von, Josh, Antonio. I think his little brother was there also. I ended up exchanging numbers with them, and we would just meet in there and play every day. We would play every night. Jordan, he was also there. And this was before him and Chris actually knew each other.
Yeah.
We built a relationship just in the gym, and all of them were cool. And then, fast forward, me and Vaughn started talking more than anybody else because I was interested in how to, start a YouTube channel and to go about everything since I was coming to the end of playing basketball.
Yeah.
And kept telling me that we could set it up. He'll show me what to do, basically help me out with everything that I was seeking. Fast forward down the line, Vaughn hit me up one day. He asked me to get on it. I'm like, yeah, why?
Let's rob the bank. Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but he never asked me anything like that before, and then it was just out the blue, and then I told him, yeah, and then I was like, why? And he was like, we want to do a prank, like we're breaking into someone's house. We get in there and want you to pull a gun on us.
Wow, imagine if it wasn't a house. It's like a real robbery. I'm sorry, go on.
We never got around to doing that prank, but he called me about 2 weeks after that, after I got that first text message from him. He asked me again, whatever, and then I told him that I had one, but he was like, we don't need it. He asked me where I was, sent me my address. I sent him my address. He pulled up, but this time Chris is with him. I don't even know the other 2 guys. It was Nair. It was another guy in the car, and it was a kid in the car. So I remember the kid.
Yeah, the little kid was in the car.
Of the back seat. But they basically just told me, we're gonna do a prank. We're gonna pull you over. We want you to pull a gun out on us. And I'm telling him, like, my gun isn't here. And he was like, oh, it's okay. We found one in the trunk of the car. And I'm like, all right. So they gave it to me, and it still had a lock. You actually needed a key to take the lock. It's like was locked inside a holster, but you wouldn't know because my hand was completely wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And you actually needed a key to unlock that to even fire that. So I didn't ask any questions. They told me they were gonna pull me over. Nair was gonna get out the car. It wasn't Nair that got out the car. It was another guy. Nair has dreads. He was short. He was bright. I don't think he had any hair. He had a do-rag on that day. Anyways, they pulled me over. He got out the car and he told me I was speeding. And of course, I knew I wasn't speeding. I'm supposed to start an argument with him. I was only going about 3 miles an hour. He put the badge in my face and told me, "Do you see this? I can do whatever I want to do to you with this." And I was like, "That's a fake." I was like, "It's a fake ass bet," and I snatched it from him. So he opened the car door, and then it was like a little scuffle, and I picked him up and slammed him up against my Jeep. Whatever. But by that time, Vaughn and Chris and Nair, they get out the back seat, or they get out the car, and they run up, and they kept telling me it was a prank. And I was like, "Oh, it's a prank, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I got something for your ass." And I reached in the car, and I got the gun that they gave, and then they scattered. And I ended up chasing them for a minute, but that's where the video cuts off.
Yeah.
Whatever. So afterwards, we sat in the parking lot, and we talked for a while. They said they were going to edit it, and then they put it up probably the end of the week. And we talked about, same just going to the gym and hooping and everything. I asked them, I'm like, "Who the hell let y'all use a cop car?" They told me, they were like, "Oh, this one of our homegirls. She said that we could use it for a prank on each other."
Stage prank to pull over stage people. He verbalized it would be.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." They was like, "Yeah, we found the gun in the trunk and the badge." Like this, that explains why it was still locked. Whatever. So we sat and then we talked for a minute. It was the end of July. I was on my way to my hometown, and my sister called me and told me that my friends got arrested. I didn't know what she was talking about. When I got there and I looked, I seen it everywhere. Like it was everywhere by then. One of my friends who was at my apartment at the time when I was out of town, he called and told me that the police came by my apartment looking for me. A reporter from Channel 2 News. And I'm asking him why. And then he told me that it was something having to do with me pulling a gun on somebody. And I'm like, "You haven't pulled a gun on anybody." I was trying to think of what they could be talking about. And then I started seeing the clip that reporters and police officers actually thought it was for real.
A group of men who allegedly pretended to be police and pulled several people over are now in trouble with the real police.
Posted online. I didn't know the video had been posted yet, but then I found out real quick that it was. In the video, my license plate wasn't blurred out on the Jeep when they pulled me over. That's how police got my information to even come to my house, and they harassed me about that. My Jeep was ended up taken. That was taken, and they kept harassing me about the. I kept telling them that it wasn't mine, that it was a prop, that it was given to me by the YouTubers that we staged the video with. I called Chris. It was a detective. I forgot his name, but he called me and he asked about it, and I told him that it was all staged. I was actually trying to talk them out of trouble, and I'm like, it was staged. I don't see why they got arrested when it was staged. And he was like, "Okay, it might have been staged for you, but everyone else that they pulled over, it wasn't staged." And then it was, it was nothing I can really say about that. Orders kept coming by the house, and then people would come by the house. Whatever. I drove out to Richmond one time because they didn't want to come to the gym, and I played with Vaughn, Damien, Antonio. I think it was Antonio or Josh, and then we played. That's the first time I met Damien, whatever, and I seen him about 2 other times hooping. Then I started asking questions about them going to jail for the prank. I wanted to know what was up with it, so I wanted my damn car back. I made a Twitter. Again, I was trying to pursue the YouTube career. I made a Twitter, and in my Twitter I put the beginning YouTuber, and I put where I lived at and everything. And then about 2 weeks after I put that, people started inboxing me, asking me, to do videos with them. I don't know how none of that works. So I was even scared to even message back to set something up with anybody. But one person that I reached out to, or that was one of the messages in there, I reached out to her, and then we actually met up, and we were gonna do a video. She was telling me about herself, and I started telling her about me. And then she told me that she knew Vaughn, she never met Chris, she knew him, that they did videos together. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's what's up. Like, I know them, they cool." And she was like, "Yeah, but right now we're not seeing eye to eye because they got me fired from my job." And then I asked her, "What did she do?" And then she told me she was a cop. And then we started talking more, and I'm just sitting here staring at her like, "Damn, that was your car that they were in."
Yeah.
She still doesn't know that it's me. At that point, she still doesn't realize that it was me that that they pulled over. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the guy in the Jeep that they pulled over in the video." She was like, "You're lying." I went to my Instagram and showed her my Jeep, and then I showed her the pictures that I posted when we all took pictures in the parking lot. And then that's just crazy, like a big coincidence that we just ended up linking up like that. And so after that, I started asking her what was going on, and I'm able to hear both sides of the story because I'm cool with this crowd over here, and then I'm doing videos with her. Things that she's telling me and then that I'm seeing is not adding up to what they were telling me in the end. She said that they told her that they needed to use the car. They was gonna do prank on each other. She didn't know that they were gonna go pull over random people and use her bag, and not even alone give me her that was in the trunk that, you know, she didn't want to keep in her house because she has a son. And I didn't know any of that. And then when I kept asking them about it, they wouldn't talk to me about it. Again, I met another YouTuber in the gym named Joel. Me and him got real cool. He actually was telling me, you know, I told him again that I was trying to start a page, and it was another guy named Josh who Joel used to do videos with, black guy. We were all cool. We would meet up at the same gym that Chris stopped coming to. You know, and Joel got cool over probably about 2 years. When I started asking him, you know, certain things or whatever, like then he started pulling back. He found out.
What was the certain things that you were asking him?
I did a video with Erica, and Joel has a platform. Em&Von were the ones that I was closest to most. He has a platform where he can help me out, and just as if I had a platform and he was trying to, you know, start up, I would help so-called friend. I would help.
Yeah.
So he ended up sharing one of my videos that I did with Erica. I got a little bit of followers, just a couple of days, and then the video was taken down. And then he started being distant or whatever, but then I started.
Which video was taken down? The one with you and Erica?
Yeah.
Why was it taken down?
I found out that he was cool with Vaughn. I didn't even know him and Vaughn knew each other. I found out that he was cool with Vaughn. I don't know if Vaughn told him something about Erica, but the video was taken down, and it just seemed like Joel started becoming distant.
Did they tell you to take the video down, or?
No, they didn't tell me. They took it off their page.
Oh, okay, not your page, on their page. Okay, I get ya.
Yeah, they took it off their page. It's like he started becoming distant a little bit. Like, you can tell when someone has a weird energy toward you, but I never did anything to him, so I didn't know, you know, why. You know, I just overlooked it. Some people are moody. Some people get that way. Whatever, so that's what I just took it as. Well, I ended up moving back home to my hometown in Wichita Falls, but I kept in contact with every last one of them. Then again, I could feel the weird energy over the phone. Last year on my birthday, I was talking to Erica, and then she said she had been trying to collab and stuff, and I was like, you know, well, I'll ask my homeboy, will he do, you know, collab with you? I was like, you probably don't know him. I'll call and ask him. And she was like, whoever it is, you know, tell him that I'll pay, because I know nothing is free. So she was like, so, you know, I'll pay him if he wants to be paid. So I called him. I told him my homegirl wants to do a video with you, yada yada, and he was like, cool. And I was like, she said she'll pay. I was like, so should I give her your phone number or should I shoot you hers? And he was like, just give her mine. I gave her Joel's phone number, and she said that she contacted him and everything was cool, that they're supposed to do a video the next day. He gave her a time.
And then he pulled back from her too.
Yeah, and then the next day, she was like, yo, what's up with your boy? Like, I drove all the way down to Houston and he's not answering the phone now, and he's not doing anything. So when I tried to call him and ask, I told him, well, he's probably busy because I know he makes videos all throughout the day. So I was like, you know, I just hit him up and asked him, you know, what's up, and then I'll get back at you. So immediately when I got off the phone, called him. It rang a little bit, then it went immediately to voicemail. And you know, usually when that happens, he hits me back, but he didn't. And she was asking me, you know, well, I'm here. I got the money, and I'm trying to meet him, so I tried to call him again. Same thing happened. So I'm telling her, like, yo, I don't know what's wrong. Maybe his phone is messed up, whatever. So May 2nd, that happened May 2nd of last year on my birthday. I didn't talk to Joel again, and then it got weird. So through the summer, I have a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old. I ended up dropping them off at a local water park here. Before the water park closed, the local sheriffs, they beat up my 15-year-old and my 13-year-old, and my 10-year-old, he just, you know, he was scared. He just sat there and watched. You know, I had press charges on the police that did it. It was real big down here because, you know, these are kids that y'all put y'all hands on. Whatever. So, you know, I reached out to Joel, like, again, he has a platform where I just had pictures of my kids in the hospital, and I had a short story, and I'm telling him, you know, like, I texted to him, like, yo, can you just post this on your story on Instagram for me so people can see what happened? Maybe somebody else will see it, whatever, because I was trying to seek out the right legal representation to help me with that issue. I never got a response from him. I text Vaughn. Vaughn posted it to his story, but I never got a response from Joel. I'm like, damn, I'll just call him from my other phone and, you know, see what's up with him. I had two phones, and so when I called him, it rang a little bit. I'm like, it's gonna go to voicemail, just like the other one, because it's messed up. And he picked up. And I was like, yo, what's up, man? And then he was like, yo, what's good? He was like, who's this? They don't even know my real name. You know, my real name is Lanes. They call me Mello because I play basketball. I'm like, what's up, man? This Mello. I was like, look, I sent you something. It just clicked. He just hung up on me. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, you've been doing this on purpose. So I texted him, and I just said, bet. I don't have to, whatever you feeling you had toward me, or whatever it was, I thought you were man enough to tell me that. Like, even on the phone, if you didn't want to do what I was asked to help you with, all you have to say, nah, I don't want to do that. And as a man, I would have to respect it. I can't force anybody to do anything. I thought we were cool enough, but you to tell me that to my face, not play me. And it made me mad because Joel is cool with my son. My son has played basketball with Joel, and I was just reaching out, trying to get him to share something to help out my son in that situation. And you basically just said, in a nutshell, yo. At that point, I was like, okay. And I started thinking, like, what am I gonna do when I see him? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go. And then, like, when I started asking Josh, the guy who Joel did videos with, they wasn't cool anymore. Because Joel did something to him. He snaked him behind his back on something. I guess he tried to talk to Josh's girlfriend behind his back. She secretly recorded him.
Oh yeah, I did an interview with that girl, I remember.
So they wasn't cool anymore. I'm like, damn, like, so Joel pulled one on me, pulled one on you. And then when I talked to everybody else from the gym, it was like, oh yeah, he doesn't come around here anymore. It was like 5 or 6 of them. He did some fucked up stuff to each and every last one of them. So I was like, okay, well, he was just that type of person from jump. And they were telling me, well, he was scary. Like, if he comes in here on a nightly basis and he plays basketball with us, he wouldn't do that to us and continue to come in. But I think that gym is shut down now. So I guess he figures since I don't have to see them anymore, chances are I won't run across them anymore. Whatever, so then his true colors came out. When, like I said, you could have just told us that from jump. We're not gonna bully you, we're not gonna do anything to you. Now I'm seeing a lot of stuff where they're saying Erica is lying about a situation, and I know for a fact 100% that she's not. She didn't know that y'all were gonna pull people over. Y'all did that. She didn't know that I had her gun in the video. Y'all gave me that. She didn't know anything. She didn't know anything at all. And then a lot of them are saying that she's doing it for clout. That's dumb to me. And anybody that listens to that is dumb. Martin, if you're my neighbor,
yeah,
and I work a 9 to 5, and that's killing me. Nobody just wants to wake up, just work for a living. Nobody wants to work and then die. If I see you pull up and you're in a Lamborghini, you have nice things, I want to know what you do because, you know, maybe I can possibly do that myself and be successful. I don't think it's clout chasing. Everybody on this planet, and they'll be alive, they said no. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be well off where they don't have to worry about anything, especially if you have kids. I think it's just that. Like, nobody wants to be in anybody's circle. People wanted the knowledge and people wanted the instructions on how to do this.
Yeah, and they just took advantage of her for their benefit and their clout, per se.
Like, it would be nice to get knowledge from you guys on the steps of how you went about going to get to where you are now. Because like I said, everybody wants to be successful.
Yeah.
Nobody wants clout. To me, clout is to have your name put in something, into a situation so you can gain fame from that. I don't care about that. I want to be successful. I have kids that I have to take care of. Erica has kids that she wants to take care of. And I think on her journey to try to find success, you ran into clout chasers.
Okay, so just to confirm, they told you that they found the in her backseat, and then when you started hanging out with her, I'm assuming Von must have said something to Joel for Joel to take it down. Then Joel was going to collaborate with her, but then when he found out that it was Erica, he dogged Erica, completely cut you off because you were talking to Erica, I guess.
Whatever, and it, like, even before, you know, you were supposed to do an interview with me over this
years ago, I think. Well, I don't know, years. It was a while ago. It was around the time when the situation happened. It was like we never really had like another person's perspective on the whole situation, and I wanted to do an interview with you, and then you cut me off.
I didn't know, like, I had met Erica, and I had her side, and I knew Joel, I knew Chris, I knew Jordan, I knew Armand, I met Trey, I met Jazz, I met Nair, and then all of a sudden, I talked to you and you were like, oh, I want to do this and this. And I'm like, man, this guy popped up out of nowhere. So again, at the gym, I told Joel as soon as we got there, you know, yo, this guy contacted me. He was like, oh yeah, that's what's up. Who? Because I guess he thought it was another YouTuber that I was going to collab with or whatever. And then when I told him, he didn't say anything. We ended up playing basketball. We would leave that gym at like 1 and 2 in the morning. When I was leaving, then he came over and talked to me, just chopping it up like we always do. He was like, yeah, man, if I was you, I wouldn't do a video with that guy. And I'm like, why? Should not interview with him. Why? He be lying, bro. He be lying, and you gonna get in a lot of shit. And then yada yada. I'm like, oh yeah. And then he told me, and so immediately I took you off my Instagram because I didn't know. Like I said, I'm not.
Yeah, he was your friend, and you trusted your friend. I feel you.
I wouldn't think that he would give me false information. Now going back, when I look, I seen that you did pieces over him, and I'm like, oh, that's why he don't like me.
Yeah.
You know, in a nutshell, Erica didn't lie about anything. As far as that situation with her car and everything, she didn't lie about anything because they told me it was from their mouths. As soon as that little skit was shot of me pulling a gun out on them, they told me everything. And it's exactly what Erica's saying. I don't care about any of them knowing that I told. It's a lot that they do not know. Like,